We're here. All right. So hello, everyone. I assume everyone can hear me. Yes, everyone can hear, everyone can see okay. My name is Amy Garrettson. I'm the Education and Community Outreach Coordinator here at the Rochester Art Center, right here in Rochester, Minnesota. And I am so thrilled to host the final in our series of talks with artists from the new exhibition, Creative Confinement, now on view here at the Rochester Art Center. So if you're joining us here in Minnesota, you know we are currently in a little bit of a closure period due to COVID-19 and the pandemic throughout the region right now, but we're excited to hopefully open our galleries towards the end of the month. And so if you are in the Rochester area, I do invite you to come see this exhibition in person. Otherwise, we do have many files on our website, www.rochesterartcenter.org, that you can access and take a look. So today's speakers joining us are Benedetta Manfriani and Zoe Cinel. Both ladies are wonderful artists who work really across continents, across space, and across time, utilizing video work as well as other mediums in their art practices. I'm so thrilled to welcome them here today. On the Zoom call today, I'm going to ask that folks please stay muted, and we'll have a ton of time at the end for questions and answers with the artists today. Zoe, you're joining us from Minneapolis, is that correct?
Yeah, from St. Paul. Yeah.
From St. Paul. Benedetta, where are you joining us from today?
Florence, from Florence.
Florence, Italy, very good. So we've got quite a nice group here. It looks like we have some folks here in Minnesota, perhaps some folks joining from the Florence area as well. So yeah, let's jump in. Just a very quick overview here of the exhibition. I'm gonna share my screen quickly. Creative Confinement. Oh man, our presenters practiced this, but I did not. There we go. All right, so hopefully folks can see this. So Creative Confinement is a group exhibition here at the Rochester Art Center that was inspired by basically what artists locally, nationally, and internationally were doing with their time during the first round of lockdown here in the US and globally, right when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. So this exhibition features work by Peter Szalski, who works under the title Labor Camp, Erika Rowe, based in Mankato, Minnesota, Leslie Barlow, who is in Minneapolis, Coco Laney and Adam Rosby, who are working in the United Kingdom as well as Alabama and now Washington State here in the US. And of course, our artists today, Benedetta and Zoe. So this exhibition has a wide range of artworks in it. Oil paintings by Leslie Barlow, photography by Coco and Adam. Of course, the video works, which we'll hear more about from Zoe and Benedetta. You can see them pictured here in our galleries. As well as photography from Erika Rowe and hand printed posters by Peter Szalski. There are a few more images from Coco and Adam. And there you can see Peter's posters in the corner. There's a wonderful shot of them. And of course, photography by Erika. So this gives, if you've not had the chance to visit our galleries in person, this just gives you a very, very brief photo walkthrough of the galleries to kind of get an idea of the space where this is on display. Alrighty, so without further ado then, I'll go ahead, stop share. And again, if you want to explore a little bit more, please do visit rochesterartcenter.org. Callie has dropped that in the chat for us, so thank you so much for that link. So you can just click on that link and find out more. So now is the moment of truth. Who would like to present first? Are we going to go with Zoe or Benedetta? Either one. All right. Well, let's go with Benedetta first, who's joining us all the way from Florence. It is probably around 7 p.m. I have a guess in the evening over there. It is around noon lunchtime here, so about 7 hours time difference. Benedetta's work is amazing, and she has filmed video work of a choir called the Confusion Choir. This choir is made up of individuals from all over the world, and Benedetta, I can let you speak a little bit more about that. If we want to just dive into questions, we can dive into questions. If you want to just briefly introduce yourself,
okay,
do that.
Yeah.
All right, wonderful.
Okay, thank you everybody for being here, and good evening, good morning for you. And I'm a visual artist and a singer, and I am mother of 4 girls, and I work with different languages and with photography, with video installations, drawing, painting, carving, ceramics. The voice and singing is the very center of my art. And I started being an artist when I was very young. Actually, art was part of my daily life since my childhood. My grandfather was a sculptor, and he directed a ceramics factory. And I spent a wonderful time playing in these big spaces where painters were decorating ceramics, and where I was so fascinated by the magical of this world, where the raw material becomes art by firing. And on the other hand, my father is a musician, and when I was a child, he often woke me up with music. So as I remember, I always sang as a child, and singing gives me strength, motivation, energy. It fits my life, it fits my creative life, and I'm paid for. So this is amazing. This is the best. And I love to share singing with other people, and I really love to teach. And so this became part, maybe the biggest project in the last years, when in 2016 I created a choir, multicultural choir, made up with refugees and immigrants and local people. And this was a social project, but we achieved interesting artistic results. And during the last lockdown, which in Italy was from March to May 2020, I was, as everybody, stuck at home, and I had time, silence, plants, and the net. So I had a lot of time to study, research, and produce things that has been in my brain, in my body, in my soul for a long time. I sang a lot, and I conceived a new album and a show. And I asked some friends if they would like to sing a song from their home with the choir I run. And the friends are professional singers. One is my teacher. She lives in Boulder, Colorado. And the other friends are colleagues, are professional singers and living in different parts of Italy. And the immigrants arrived in Italy from countries where someone can kill you if you stole an apple, and they lived terrible things. They were tortured, imprisoned, raped. And singing in the choir was a way to meet Italians to improve the language, to softly become part of a family. And that's what we are. We are a family. And some of the immigrants recently moved from Florence and to another town because the husband of this woman got a job, so she couldn't sing anymore with us, and she lived because she lived and she lives actually in another town. So this video was a way to sing together again, and it was beautiful to feel connected with the music.
Absolutely. Benedetta, how did you find all the people who participate in the choir?
You mean during the lockdown?
Mm-hmm.
The choir, the people, the participants of the choir, we communicate through the chat, through a WhatsApp chat. So I proposed to them to sing in a virtual choir video. And the other was just a call or an email, or this was very easy. The hard thing was to produce the video, to shoot the video. This was pretty difficult because not everybody knows how to make a video. Not everybody knows how to sing with headphones. You must keep the phone still in the right position, shoot in the correct light. You must sing following the same rhythm, stop and start at the same time with the others without the choir leader. And at the beginning, it has been a total mess. And then I guess everybody was surprised by the result. And for me, the best thing in that video is Reina with the kids. She's a woman from Ghana. She lived in Florence for 3 years, and she has forgotten the song. But she tried anyhow with her children and in her kitchen. And so I love her very much, and I was so happy she decided to participate to the project. And if you had seen the video, she makes your heart smile, and she's the woman at the end. And the thing which I liked is that the distance has opened our homes, and which have become theaters and rehearsal rooms, and the warmth of our homes was shared with other people.
Absolutely. I know exactly who you're talking about, and I totally agree. The part at the end of the video, it does just make your heart smile. The song that you're singing in the video is Hello Django, which I was surprised that I was like, oh, I think I do know that song. Having sang for perhaps 10 years, it's one of those tunes that you don't think you know, but once you hear it, you know, you know it. And what I love about it is that the words are, it's basically tonal. You don't have to speak the same language to sing the song.
Exactly.
Which I think is quite beautiful. What inspired you to choose a song like that essentially has just tones and no words? What was the inspiration behind forming the international choir, or choosing that type of song?
This is a song I love particularly because it was taught to me by a person I love very much. My teacher, who lives in the United States, and she is a special person, really. And so this was, in a way, it was a way to honor her, to thank her, and at the same time, as you said, scat, jazz scat is a known language, but you can really communicate through scat. Scatting is a way to communicate in another way. You don't use words, but you use emotions, you use body language, you use an intention. So I thought it was very interesting singing from different parts of the world. And also who were living in this moment in Italy was coming from all over the world. So no language was the best. It was democratic.
Absolutely, and so beautiful, so beautiful. I feel so lucky to have been able to experience the video.
Thank you.
So I guess my next question is, if you have a clip you'd like to share with us, if you have other work you'd like to share with us, or speak a little bit about what is next for you, or what are you working on?
Yeah.
Or anything, feel free to share with our audience.
Yeah. During the lockdown, I worked on 2 projects. The first is a wall of cyanotypes printed with plants collected in the months of pandemia, which is about the connection between all things. And at the same time, I worked on a new album, collecting songs. And the name of this project is Eve, which in Jewish means life. Hawa is life, is the living one. And I was fascinated by this name because for me, this is how life gets you. ever you are going to give up, and you hold on, because life is stronger. And so all the songs I collected are poetic texts of the Middle Age and the Renaissance, and all popular Italian songs, and talking about resistance and resilience and transformation, and songs which are popular, so traditional and old, but arranged with electronic sounds. So it mixes traditional and contemporary sounds. And all these songs are songs of pain, need for justice, rage, love, but humor and lightness, to say that we must go on.
Oh,
Simply this.
so heartfelt and so timely and absolutely beautiful. I hope that you know, as that project is completed, hopefully we'll get to see it or share it, you know, somehow through technology, which is really the interesting part about the global pandemic as well, is getting to share this shared experience with folks from all over the world and feeling a lot of the same feelings that you maybe thought you could never feel the same as someone in Ghana or Senegal or Italy or USA. But of course, we do when we can. So I see that we're about halfway through. I would like to jump over to our other artist today, Zoe Cinel. Zoe, do you feel ready to speak a little bit about your portion of creative confinement?
Yeah, sure. If Benedetta has something else that she wants to show, that's okay too. I can take a little less time. But...
I don't want to take too much time. Don't worry, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. I'll share my screen because it's easy for me to like talk with visuals. What? I got really distracted. So, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. Thanks for feedback. So, well, thank you for the great introduction. And I really love being in this panel with Benedetta, which is an artist and a person that I really respect. And I'm glad that we got connected last time that I was in Italy last year. I grew up, I would say in Florence now. I know there are people that live in Florence who think I'm not from there, but whatever, you know, it's easier. I grew up in a town close to Florence, to be precise. And I moved to the US in 2015 for the first time. And then I spent some months back home well, it's not relevant. Anyway, I've been here for a while, mostly in the Twin Cities, and then briefly lived in Rochester because I also work at the Art Center. And to like just talk a little bit about in general, my artworks revolved around the experience of migration and immigration in different forms. It can take the form of like installation of written words. This is like an older work from 2017, yeah, where like compiled little books, like matching Italian and English. Or it can take the form of public art. This is one of the most recent work that I have. That's a collaboration with Rochester-based artist Eric Anderson. And for who lives in Rochester, like you can go and see it at the Bear Creek Trail near Mayo High School. And again, it was about the idea of like, what is home right now during pandemic? So, and how to make people feel welcome, and how we connect through visual art. So you can see here, there's like all those patterns are from different, like 25 different cultures, and they kind of look similar because at the end of the day, we share more things than we think, despite cultural differences. This is my sort of like artistic alter ego, the alien. So it's a sort of like more silly, I don't know, fun way of addressing my immigrant status, that it's like I'm legally called an alien, not resident alien, which I thought was like kind of funny and a little like unwelcoming from a legal standpoint. So I developed this character and I go around and do things. So yeah, other ways in which I have addressed immigration and migration, but always like thinking about collaboration and connections. Sorry, this is so slow. Are through like new media. Here's like part of the Alien project. This is my parents' house. And so I was using Google VR to like see, you know, have that feeling of like feeling at home, even if you're not. And then some other projects. This is a big one, a public art project that kind of changed everything for me. It's called Carry On Homes, and it's a group. It was a group of 5 people. Now we're 3, but still family. And we got together in 2018 to create this sculpture that you see here in the background. And all of us are from different countries. And we got together to like create this platform for other immigrants to have performances and like meals, and then hang out during the summer of 2018. And so that really like changed a lot for me. But yeah, I would say that immigration is kind of one of the, in the large sense, and not just my experience, but mostly like finding ways in which I can be of help for other immigrants to feel at home here. It's one of my like main goal right now, because I did find a family in like those people, or like Mariam, who's an immigrant herself. She's from Iran. So yeah, well, I have a little presentation, but if you want to ask me questions, Amy, that's fine too.
Yes, there's a bit of work going on the other side of my office wall, apparently. So it's very loud. Well, I think you kind of already touched on what I was going to ask, which was the same sort of question I asked Benedetta, and what inspired your work specifically in creative confinement. You know, how did you find your way to creating the Symphony of 7 work there? So if you want to go ahead and speak on that, or speak on, you know, the art during lockdown that you've made. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, the two things are connected. So during lockdown, I was totally insane. I don't even know. Like, I'm still processing what the hell happened during this time, that like those months. So I think we went in lockdown like 2 or 3 weeks after Italy, and we stayed in lockdown maybe a week or 2 after Italy, like people could go out. The difference in Minnesota for like people that lived in Italy is that like there's more space and less people, so we could actually go out. While in Italy it was like way more strict, like you know, you shouldn't even go for walks, I think, at a certain point. So, but in Minnesota you can still like walk around the neighborhood, so that's nice. Still, it was winter, so it's not that you really want to go out. But anyway, one of the things that happened during right when lockdown happened in March, if I remember correctly, was that Carry On Homes had the biggest show that we will ever have, probably. And it was this piece that we really like fought to like complete, because it was made across 3 countries, 3 continents. Like Pangu, who's one of our collaborators, is currently stuck in China, and he was in China while we made this piece, because you know, like he can't get back through like because of COVID. I was in Italy. during the making of this piece, and then 3 of us were like in the US. One was having a baby, so it was like, you know, we really fought hard to like make this work that opened just a month before lockdown, or yeah, less than a month. And so this artwork was all about like, you know, touch things, laying on the pillows and stuff like that. And then when, you know, COVID happened, it was like, no way. So at the end of lockdown, we like reinstalled it. So that, you know, pandemic affected my work in some ways, but at the same, so this is one of the ways like you can make things to touch right now. And that was a big part of my making. But while I was in lockdown, I was also teaching and working at the art center. So my life was basically just on Zoom, and it was terrible, like never again. But here you can see a screenshot, some screenshot from my Instagram that was basically my communication platform at that point. And at first I was having a lot of fun because I really like new media and the internet. I think some things are fascinating, like you know, like the consumer, like augmented reality options that like came out all together, like those like funny things, so you can get a raccoon into your living room. But yeah, it was a lot of screen time, like so much screen time, and working with other people to like try to connect despite being separated physically. So I did some projects with other artists in the Twin Cities, like Charles Campbell. We started doing this like bi-weekly or weekly sort of like Zoom hangout thing, where we just did fun things on Zoom. And so when it comes to the symphony, like all of those things like come together because I was like thinking, practicing on my own and with people here, ways in which, you know, how can you build memories from a distance or when you're not physically together. And so I started sharing with my parents some like fun things that I found, like the animal thing, you know, and like, so they sent me their, and my parents are here today, so it's really cute. And so, yeah, I don't know. And it was also like hard to be here because I was worried about, you know, them being initially when COVID wasn't that bad here and it was really bad there. And it's also like, you see that coming, you know, working with people that were in China and they were like in lockdown way before here. It was just like, oh my God, this is going to be really, really bad. And a little bit struggling about like, what should I do? Should I like go home? You know, it's not easy. Is my work life is here, but it's hard to be away from family when something this major happens. And you know, luckily we're all fine, but it's always on the back of my mind, like I don't know. But anyway, so the idea for the symphony kind of came from some of those things, and from the fact that I grew up, my parents really like the outdoors, and we grew up like going on walks, which is something I hated deeply when I was a kid. But you know, during lockdown, it was the only thing that you could do not to be on a screen, so they just became so vital for me. And at that time, I was living with some friends, and so we would like start going on walks, and I knew my parents were taking walks, even if they were like not supposed to do so. But they live in a really quiet neighborhood, so it's okay. Anyway, so it's something that I was like, well, maybe we can do it, like, you know, we can still do something together and build memories. And then another inspiration came from my students. So I was teaching this class that was, what is it? Digital media and performance art. Now, the two things done online, it's like, it's not supposed to happen. But, you know, and I was trying to find ways in which it was like, don't stay on the screen the whole time. Like, that's crazy. Get out. So I gave them these assignments of like tracking, doing a journal through like this Google app that's called like Google Fit. You can just like, you know, walk around and make shapes, and it's kind of cute. And I was like, do something else, just get out, you know, but you have to, because you're going to be graded on like getting out of the house. And so that was an inspiration because people, like, they're so smart. They came up with like those amazing performances and like walks, and they were so thoughtful. So I started like thinking about this app for my own for my own work, and I just feel like them. And then another thing that was part of that time was that I have this like health condition that's arthritis. I didn't know that at the time. It just, my body was hurting so much, and walking, which was the only recreational thing I could do basically to get out of the house, was very hard. So this work is associated for me also with the struggle of walking, and I started thinking about, you know, it's a privilege to be able to move your body freely. And so I got a little bit of taste of like, what does that mean to not be that able. And so when making this piece, I like thought about, yeah, we could do walks together, and like we brainstorm few things, like maybe we can make shapes, we can make letters, we can write something. But the geography of the city in Minneapolis, and at that time I was living in in St. Paul, Highland Park, which is like even more like, it's very squared, like everything is very like on a grid. And in Italy, especially where my parents live, there's not that great. You just can't find it because the urban, like the way urban like landscape developed, it's just like more organic. So it was hard to find that commonality. And so what we decided to do was like think about a period of time of like 7 days in which we would like walk together from a distance, meaning that we would take walks at the same time of the day and then record those walks through the app and then see what happens. I forgot to mention that actually one of like another things that I wanted to do was connecting with friends at home that were stuck and and one of them being Agnese, who made the sound for this piece. So I was also like trying to like connect not just my family, but like also with other people that are part of like extended family in a way. So yeah, and like this project for me, it kind of opened up like a larger, like I started thinking a lot about what walking means, and like who walks, who's able to walk, and where, what is the idea of safety, who's feeling safe and where, and thinking also about what happened this summer with George Floyd and Old Rochester and the riots, and like think walking in the US is very different than walking in Italy, and walking as an immigrant is very different than walking as a citizen. And we know that from, it connects a little bit like with Benedetta's work too. When you walk in a neighborhood that you feel safe, what is that makes you feel safe? It's the environment, it's your own personal sense of safety and confidence in places. Is it things that you can recognize that make you feel welcome and safe? And so there's a lot that goes into this piece. So just briefly, the work, you can see here the walks. Oh, and I forgot to mention, and that's really important, this work was firstly, like the first time was commissioned by Suvak, who was a gallery in Minneapolis that did this great program where, like, as lockdown happened, they just like reached out to a bunch of artists and they were like, do something, we're gonna put like an online gallery. And it was really nice to feel like that the world is not over, that like we still can be together and make things and like be at an opening, or like, meet your artist friends online. Yeah, and so just briefly here, there is like every day, basically what happens is that like this is my parents' walk and this is my walk. And you can see here the different landscapes. So this is like in Italy, and this is where I used to like go and walk in St. Paul, which is like beautiful Crosby Farm. And the walk becomes a score and the sound comes from two different oscillators. I think I've seen it right. I never said this word in English, but it's basically becomes a score, and like the sound kind of tracks what is the shape of the walk. And this is a little shots of like the installation, but you've already seen that. And I have this thing that I would like to do, if it's okay, since my dad is here. And he like, you know, he like made the project with me. I was wondering if it's okay to like ask quickly, how was the experience of like collaborating from a distance? And you know, he was very nice. He was rehearsing.
Absolutely.
Sei sul muso, Bob, devi pigiare.
It was very interesting, and we spent a nice time to do that, because in the evening we went to walk, and in the same time we think to Zoe on the other side of the wood, so it was very funny. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like a dictator when it comes to work, so they were very patient. Like, yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful that you were able to connect with family, you know, across time zones and across oceans. Very much like the de facto family of the choir, your you know, blood family, connecting with your art, which connection is really the main theme of creative confinement. Even though we're separated, all of the artists involved found ways to connect with others, and with how they were feeling, and with how others were feeling, and it was quite beautiful. So we're towards the end of our time here. We do have a few people here on the call with us today, about a dozen people. So if anyone has questions for either Zoe or Benedetta, or just in general, you can go ahead and unmute and ask your question, or do feel free to type your question into the chat box if you don't feel comfortable speaking on camera, and we can take a few minutes just to answer any questions that participants may have.
Well, I do have a question for Benedetta, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Did you get back to like singing with the choir? How was it possible after lockdown?
Yeah, we started singing again in June, and it wasn't allowed to sing in rooms, in closed spaces. So we had rehearsal along the river in a park, and it was very nice because we could involve people, and we had always an audience, and we sang under trees and with the sun. It was very, very nice. Unfortunately, since I think the 1st of November or around these days, we stopped again singing in presence, and now we are singing on Zoom, which is very different. But anyhow, we are planning a new video, a new virtual choir video and which will be, I think, in January. New project, and so it's a shame. But, you know, life is difficult, and singing helps anyhow to live better. So also if you sing in front of a screen, it's better than nothing.
True, making do. The phrase of the day has been the word pivot here in our area, to turn quickly, to pivot, and that's just what a lot of us have had to do with our work, and certainly, you know, singing together in a choir room or in a park versus online, it's totally different, and with technology constraints too, with like sound and earbuds and trying to sync up and everything. Benedetta, is there a website for the choir that folks can find?
There is a YouTube channel and a Facebook page.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So if you want to see more, you can go to on Facebook is Confusion Migrazioni Sonore, is sound migrations. I can write it if you want.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, this is
Any questions from our audience members? Having a few moments to think about it. For either Zoe or Benedetta, either one, or just in general. Wonderful. So we know that Benedetta's making music. Zoe, what's next for you? What's your next big project that you're working on? Perhaps at the Art Center.
This is a new album, and we are finishing the recording in studio, and I think in 20 days we'll have a fresh new CD, and which I think is nice. And so I will send you informations when it will be ready.
Wonderful, wonderful. We'd love to keep up on what's next.
Thank you. And I guess if you want to see what I didn't show you about other works where or is it late?
Oh, we've got a few minutes. Yeah,
Okay.
folks that have specific questions that they're interested in asking. Got about 3-4 minutes left. So
yeah, but tell me if you have time, I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is big tree and in the Istituto degli Innocenti in Florence, which was a charity for children in need since the 16th century, is working to help children. And this big tree is an interactive tree, and it has a voice made with voices of mothers and children from all over the world. And this is an installation called Mediterranea, made with hundreds of raku bowls, ceramics bowls, and a video projection of the sea. Is about immigration. It's about people who died in the Mediterranean Sea when coming from Africa. And this is the cyanotypes wall made during the lockdown. In the months of the lockdown. And this is a shot of the performance after artist residency in Florence, about how you can survive to prison. And this is performance I directed with the choir, which is always about immigration. Is as you can read, a crowd music piece for an anti-choir by Yuval Avital, who is a great composer, contemporary great composer, and who rivers are people, which are as rivers without borders. So everybody goes where he needs to go. And this is a photo of my last concert with the repertoire, which will be in the next CD. So this is the last. Okay, that's all.
Wonderful, quite busy. I love, it appears both artists with us today. Gosh, you're so, you're so talented in the combination of video, music, collaboration with others, friends, family, chosen family, you know, using theatrical, you know, props, performance art, as well as more traditional arts, the cyanotypes, which some folks may know as sun prints, that uses the sun to develop the shadow on the paper, the use of mixed media. I just love it. It's been a joy to speak with both of you today. True, wonderful examples of, you know, the artists of the future, multimedia artists that are using all sorts of media to create connections with people. And I'm just thrilled. Thank you so much for spending the hour with us today to speak about your work in creative confinement and also your work around the world. I appreciate it so much. And I appreciate all of you on the call today, all of our audience members, and those who will watch the recording later. We'll have this up on our website at rochesterartcenter.org and on our YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending today.
Thank you.
I wish I knew the word grazie. I don't know in Italian, but thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you to you. And bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.